Comics Sans Cancer.
Hey gang, it's Richard, and I just wanted to put out a quick comic book review today. I've been doing a lot of video game stuff, and because of that, it feels like I've been neglecting Comic Sans Cancer, so I figured, you know what, this might be a good time to go out and buy a new comic book. I haven't bought a new comic book in a decade. So I was looking at reviews on some of my favorite comic review websites for one of my favorite titles, the X-Men, and, well, I'll show you what I found. Alright, Diversity in Comics, let's see what he's got. Nothing good there, nothing good there. No one talks or acts like a person in this SJW Cringe Fest, that doesn't sound good. Oh look, a Claremont title. Look, another good 90s title, wow. Well, nothing new that's good. What about Yellow Flash Comics? Like that channel? No, doesn't want you to have comics, no. Trash like X-Men Red. X-Men Fight Evil Hot Dogs. Take on conservative America. X-Men are used online trolling to stop Sentinels for real. People who enjoy masochism. Well, the Comic Kid, you know, he usually tries to be fair-handed. Let's see, some nostalgia there for good X-Men. Oh, a Claremont imitation. Well, at least they're imitating the right era of X-Men. Ta-Nehisi Coates, no. No, I don't see anything. This is pretty disappointing. Well, considering I have next to no money in my budget for comic books, and I've got a long box with lots of classic X-Men comics, why don't I just review one of those? Alright, so the comic I'm going to be reviewing today is a reprint, an X-Men classic reprint. It was originally printed back in the 80s, the Uncanny X-Men number 173. On the left is the reprint cover, and on the right is the original cover. Now, just starting off with the reprint cover, I like the representation of Rogue. You know, the color's great, dynamic poses. But what you can see what they did was just like a mirror image of the original, black background and all, but Wolvie's in the front on the original, and I like the original cover a lot better. I like how Wolverine is in this forward running stance, claws out, and the line art in it I appreciate a hell of a lot more than the reprint cover. So the story is To Have and Have Not, and as you can see it's written by Chris Claremont and penciled by Paul Smith, and inked by Bob Wiacek. So it starts in Japan, what looks like some kung fu fighting, some guys getting hurled out into the street through a window. And this is what drew me in to buy this comic. This two-page panel up top with Wolvie holding, looks like Yakuza, at an arm's length, fist back, ready to plunge his claws into the guy's face if he doesn't tell him what he wants. Wolvie saying, "It's already a lousy night for business. You want me to do the same for your health? I want information. I won't ask again." And we've got Rogue in the background there telling him he better cooperate. The Yakuza guy's like, "No, it's, you know, they'd kill me." And this is another hallmark of a great comic book. We've got right away action, action, action. Down at the bottom of this two-page progression, we've got Rogue getting attacked from behind with a sai, and she quickly hurls the guy over her head. We see Wolverine here menacingly holding up his claws, saying, "You're out of options, Akio. I want the Grand," whatever that name is, his leader. So the guy eventually talks. In the backstory here on the second page, to bring us up to speed on what's going on in the Uncanny X-Men at the time, we've got Wolverine's monologue. It says, "I invited the X-Men to Japan for my wedding." Yeah, he's getting married. "Instead, there's a good chance they'll be attending their own funerals. My fiancée," whatever that name is, "her dad was a crime lord. Her half-brother, the Silver Samurai, wants control of the Empire. He means to get it by killing her. To keep me and my fellow mutants out of the picture, Viper poisoned all of us, except for Storm. Rogue and I recovered. We've been on the Samurai's trail ever since. The others are in the hospital, intensive care, in critical condition." We see Storm here and Yukio. Looks like Yukio's trying to find them some shelter, but they're turned away, and before you know it, they're looking down the barrel at 6 thugs looking to beat them up. We've got Wolverine and Rogue chasing down the lead that they squeezed out of the Yakuza guy at the bar. Again, I just love the artwork. We've got Wolverine hunched forward on the prowl. We've got Rogue strutting her stuff, It's just awesome. And in Rogue's carelessness, she trips a laser sensor, which starts Wolverine's internal monologue. She doesn't see the electric eye, or the robot activated by her breaking the beam. I'm tempted to let her take the shot to find out what her limits really are, but I may need her later on. Again, some great action there. This is at a point where Rogue's kind of, new to the team and hasn't earned the trust of the X-Men yet. So after that, Rogue follows up with a little bit of a appreciation for Wolverine's chivalry. Next time, watch your step. That statue could have been you. My hero. A save like that deserves a reward. And she's going to go in for the kiss, but he's got his fist up under her chin, ready to extend his claws up through her throat if he could. Don't ever pull a stunt like that, make a threat like that, to me or any other X-Man, even as a joke, understand? I didn't mean any harm. That's why you're still breathing. They locate the mark of their tip-off here, and Wolverine discovers that he's been dead for over a week. But again, some great artwork here. But then Wolvie puts it all together. An imposter, we've been suckered. While we're out in the boondocks chasing smoke, the samurai is clear shot at Mariko and the X-Men. And then we get a quick page of Yukio and Storm beating the crap out of these 6 thugs that confronted them. And Yukio here's rubbing off on Storm a little bit. She says, I've never used my powers to deliberately inflict pain. It's no less than they deserved, and far gentler fate than they had in store for us. This seems logical to Storm. She says, I think you're right. Whatever it means, this madness of yours that has infected me, I welcome it. She sends up a lightning bolt. And then we're back to some more action. And see, great comic books, the action never slows down for more than a page or two. Continuing Wolverine's internal monologue here. Try as we might to reach the hospital in time. I have a nasty feeling we'll be too late. Shurikens flying, taking out guards. And here we see Viper instructing her ninja clan. Be quick, be efficient. I want no witnesses, no survivors. And then Rogue bursts through the door. That ain't very sociable, Viper honey. Maybe you and your playmates ought to delay your visit till y'all learn better manners. And crashes through the other side of the building, taking half of the ninja clan with her. And seeing that Rogue's busy with the ninja guys, Viper sees this as her opportunity to locate Silver Samurai and finish assassinating the X-Men. Some more great action here. Wolverine calls out, There's just me left up here, Samurai. Show yourself, if you dare. You will not find me lacking in courage, Gaijin. Do tell, that why you brought an army? I need no help to claim my birthright, dog. Or to deal with you. Arata's energy sword can cut through anything, or so he believes. But my claws are forged of pure adamantium, the strongest metal known. I survive his first cut, and he survives mine. And then we get treated to 3 whole pages of an awesome fight scene with some killer artwork. Just beautiful. I like seeing that Silver Samurai blade go through Wolverine and the shocked look on his face. And then Wolverine turns it around instantly, knees him in the stomach, and then Wolverine gets a sword to the back of the neck. Wolverine grabs the sword and snaps his arm back and then gets ready to plunge the claws into his neck, but he's stopped by his future bride. Logan-san, no! Enough blood has been spilled, beloved. Let this be the end to it. My half-brother has lost. Grant him his life. Despite his instincts, Wolverine listens to his fiancée. But just then, Viper bursts back in on the scene. Have no fear, Wolverine. Your dilemma is about to be resolved. Stand away from the samurai, and no false moves or I'll fire. And Silver Samurai stumbles toward Viper. Viper, mistress, forgive your humble servant. He has failed. Wolverine and his fiancée try and get to the door as Viper whips out the gun. And then blam, we're right back to action. Just like that. Rogue busts through the wall ahead of the beam, takes it in the chest, and pushes Wolverine and his fiancée to safety. Rogue's absorbing the blast from the beam until Viper's gun overloads and explodes in her hand. This leaves Rogue in a severely weakened state, and Wolverine then risks his own life to save Rogue's. The kid's breathing, but I can barely find a pulse. Gee, Wolvie, guess I ain't as invulnerable as I thought. Viper pieces out for now and takes the Silver Samurai with her. And Rogue and I are alone in the room. So much for my brilliant career, and I think my life. Don't talk stupid, my healing factor can save you. No, you need that to save yourself. If I absorb your powers, Wolverine, you may die. My risk. Besides, darling, who's gonna stop me? I'm a man who pays his debts, Rogue. You sacrifice yourself for Mariko. It's only fair I return the compliment. So now we're on to the day of the wedding. And we see here the bride-to-be is getting ready, talking to her ancestors. And she has a brief interaction with someone who's not identified to us. The X-Men who've recovered from their stay at the hospital show up. And Scott shows up with Madeline Pryor, who's a dead ringer for Jean Grey. And the Phoenix, was just recently defeated. So it caused a bit of a stir. And then we see Storm shows up, dressed in some punk 80s attire. Kitty Pryde doesn't really like the new look, but after that we move on to the wedding. But as we see here, as Wolverine's fiancé approaches the altar, the bride calls a stop to the ceremony. Most Imperial Majesty, honored guests, there will be no wedding. Why? Because, Gaijin, you are not worthy. And she walks by Wolverine, and we see the unidentified character from before, and a single tear rolls down Wolverine's cheek. Now that is a good X-Men comic. And that is why I'd rather read what's in my long box than go waste $5 or $6 Canadian on some piece of SJW soy-infested trash. Anyways, thanks for hanging out with me while I took a look at this Uncanny X-Men comic. And I'll be back soon with more comic reviews as I continue Maximum Carnage, just as soon as I get some more gaming out of the way. But until then, I've been your host, Richard Rizzo. You've all been great, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.